Hello! Once more, the sound of the chester honor guard stamping their heels rang out loudly. Silence returned to the cathedral again. Now the wedding ceremony would finally begin.
人は愛のために生きるのです。すなわち、今日あなた方は生まれてきた意味を、目的を成し遂げた。ああ、
生きる力、愛の力のなんと偉大なことか。今日という日の輝きが、どうかお二人を永遠に祝福しますように。
さあ、愛し合う二人の愛の制約を。物言えぬ夫に代わりて、
妻は二人を代表して制約を。バトラはエリカを、エリカはバトラを。健やかな日もやめる日も支え合って生きることを誓います。聞こえませんよ、バトラさん。文句があるならもっとはっきり大きな声で言ってください。それ以上の文句が終わりでしたら、まずはロジックエラーの密室からお出になってからにしてください。安心して、その日まで永遠に私があなたを支えてあげますから。
二人の愛の制約を聞きました。ああ、誓いよ、永遠なれ。
Not like this, Erika. I mean, you're pretty and all, but not like this. The thunderous applause celebrated their marriage of subordination. After the oath, they had symbolized the bond. It was the exchanging of the rings. Territory's ward ring with the one-winged eagle engraved on it that sat on Battler's finger would become Erika's. By this, she would become the ruler of this game board. And in exchange, Battler's finger would be given a diamond ring that Erika had prepared. At a glance, it just looked like a ring adorned by a large diamond. However, this cursed ring would force Battler into eternal subservience and mark him as another's property.
さあ、二人は指輪の交換を。
身動きできぬ夫の指を、妻はどうか支えてあげて。
Erika respectfully took Battler's right hand and slowly pulled off the territory lord's ring that had been on his ring finger. That was the ring Bito had entrusted him with. Erika stole it away. Okay, I can't change the text speed while auto is on. I just had to press.
私みたいな女に奪われるのってどんな気持ちですか？
I press the speed first and then press auto.
はい、聞こえません。もう一度お願いします。
違う。もちろん。
なんだ、それならご安心を、バトラさん。
Erika pressed her lips up against Battler's earlobe as if biting it, and told him where they were.
そこですよ。
Then, slowly, she took Bito's ring, which she had stolen from Battler, and slipped it onto her own left hand.
では花嫁、続いてあなたの指輪を花婿に。
すごい指輪ね。彼を永遠に逃がさない。これは枷だわ。特注ですから。
Even Battler's blank eyes could see the diamond ring Erika held. It was like Erika herself. On the outside, it shone beautifully, possessed an absolute hardness that would bend to no one's will, and on the inside, to symbolize never letting go of the prey it had latched onto. It had 8 sharp thorns pointing inwards. If they had been growing out of the outer side, it would have looked like the collar of a guard dog from hell. However, who ever heard of putting those on the inside? By twisting the diamond, those thorns could slide in or out. In other words, if you twisted it after thrusting the finger inside, the inward-facing thorns would bite down, never releasing until the end of time. Then, even his soul would be trapped, and his body, mind, and soul would be forced to serve Erika for all eternity. Who the heck would wear a ring like that? He couldn't even finish speaking that simple phrase. And furthermore, those awkward words were the only way he could resist. She raised Battler's left hand and stroked his ring finger as if tasting it. Erika pressed the ring of subordination against the tip of his finger. Yes. Okay. If a ring is made to fit too lightly, it can be painful and hard to take off. Too tightly. To fit too tightly, it can be painful and hard to take off. However, this ring was never intended to be removed for life anyway. So its inner band had been mercilessly narrowed. Even without the thorns, forcing a small ring like this on would hurt.
この指輪はあなたの身も心も魂も全てを永遠に閉じ込めます。そしてあなたは永遠に生きた人間、死ぬことも許しません。私に永遠に汚され恥ずかしめられ、私が勝利の美酒の味を忘れるたびにあなたはその身をもって私にそれを思い出させるのです。何度もね。舌が噛めるなら今のうちにどうぞ。指輪が通ればそれすらもできなくなりますから。
Batter didn't even have the strength to bite his tongue. Even if he had, he didn't want to give up before finding a way to escape the closed room, so he couldn't kill himself. However, if he accepted the ring, he would never be able to even think about escaping from the room, much less commit to that. Suicide.
ダメです。ほら、指入れますよ。
It wasn't just the pain of having his finger forced through the tight ring. The curse of the ring fiercely tormented Battler's body from the inside. That pain would always torment Battler. But, fortunately, the power of the ring even stole away the heart that could understand that pain. Erika kept screwing that too small demon's ring on. With an obscene laugh, Erika let a silver thread drip from her mouth and soaked the finger in the ring.
入れちゃいますから。無駄な抵抗なんかしないでください。抵抗しない方が痛くないですよ。ほら、胸って入るようになった。
Slowly, Batter's finger went deeper through the ring. He was pushed through the iron ring of pain and humiliation, which would never be removed again. Oops. The demon's ring tightened around the finger, so much that it seemed the finger would snap off along with the bone. Could Balor's hazy expression of anguish really describe how unbearable this filthy pain was?
一番奥に入れたのは最後の仕上げですよ。これでもうあなたは永遠に私のもの。
Erika touched the ring's diamond knob. If she twisted it, the thorns would bite in and never let go again.
いいですよ。許してください、エリカ様って言えたらやめてあげます。お許しください、エリカ様。生涯の犬として扱われ、首輪につながれて生きることを誓いますから、この指輪だけはお許しくださいって、そう言えたらこの指輪だけは許してあげます。はい、よく聞こえませんよ。
絶対てめえを許さねえ。
あなたをこんな目に遭わせちゃって。
違う。ベアとの指輪を怪我したお前を俺は絶対許さねえ。
Though Bador's eyes had supposedly been forced into a muddled condition, they appeared strong for just an instant. However, it really was only for an instant. Bador used up the last of his fleeting resistance, just to say those words. In his dim consciousness, he had even bitten his own tongue to stay alert, so that he could say those words of resistance until the very end.
あなたは飼いならせない犬って感じです。でもそこがいい。
Erika smiled. Then she turned the diamond. In that instant, Bador let out a voiceless scream and threw his head back. His howl had no voice and could be heard by no one. However, it still rang out through the cathedral. Oh. A dreary breeze blew through the Golden Rose Garden. Shannon and Canon had already finished walking 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons conducting the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. Each had one of the dueling pistols given by the demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death no matter where in the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They had already entrusted all their thoughts to them, as well as their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way they could show their trust. Shannon and Canon stood quietly with their backs turned. They had already set aside the feelings they built up during all those days they'd known each other. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them except pulling that trigger. The only one who still couldn't muster any determination or resolve towards this duel was Bito. The closer that moment came, the less she understood. The love between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Canon, or vice versa. Why, when both sides could find happiness, were they being forced to kill each other?
妹よ、我らには見守ることしか許されん。
ゼパルさん、フルフルさん、どうしてこんな決闘を。こんなの恋の試練じゃない。やっぱりあなたたちは悪魔なんです。どちらかの恋人たちを破綻させて、それを見て喜びたいだけの悪魔なんです。
静かに。
恋人たちの邪魔になるわ。
邪魔をしてるのはあなたたちじゃないですか。どちらかが倒れる。倒れた方の恋人たちが嘆き悲しむ。あなたたちさえなければ誰も悲しまない。
それは違う。僕たちがこの決闘を取り持たなかったら。
二組はどちらも破綻したわ。これは必要な決闘なの。
私は最初から納得できなかったんです。魔法の奇跡がなければ恋って成し遂げられないんですか。恋って愛し合う二人さえいれば他に何もいらないんじゃないんですか。この決闘は無意味です。だからやめて。二人ともシャノンもカノンもあんなにも実の兄弟のように仲良しだったあなたたちがどうして殺し合わなくちゃいけないの。私にはどうしてもわからない。
Everyone should have been able to hear Bito's yell. However, no one's expression changed.
そうだよ。よく気づいたね。
それこそ愛の真実。
何がですか。
愛し合う二人以外に本来は何もいらないん
だ。だからそれが二人でない時、私たちは決闘でその数を二人にしなくてはならない。
一人の女性を奪い合っての決闘ならまだわかります。愛し合ういびつな三人を二人にする決闘。しかし彼らは二人と二人それぞれの世界はもう完成されてるじゃないですか。争わなければならない理由が何もない。
世界を生み出す最小の人数は二人。
二人が揃って初めて世界は生まれ、恋は成就される。
だからこの決闘は必要なんだ。
彼らがその人数を満たすために。
家具は人間未満だから一人を満たせないと言い出すんですか。
正解だよ。家具は人間未満だから家具と人間じゃ二人を満たせない。
そんなのおかしいです。愛し合う二人の身分なんて関係ない。
いいや、あるよ。本当に愛し合う二人の身分は関係ないの？
妻を持つ男との恋は許されるの？夫を持つ女との恋は許されるの？
親との恋は許されるの？子との恋は許されるの？恋の許されない身分なんていくらでもある。
じゃあ家具って何なんですか？どうして家具は恋をしちゃいけないんですか？
魂が一人に満たないから。シャノンもカノンも駒である君ももちろん。
あなたたちはみんな家具。魂が一人分に満たないから人間以下。
人を愛する資格はただ一つ。一人に満たつ魂を持っていること。だから愛し合う二人は世界を生み出せる。
例えば妻を持つ男はもう一人の女を愛する資格を持つと思う？
あるわけがない。二人の女を愛せばその愛情は一人分に満たる。そのような男に愛する資格はない
ね。人を愛する資格のない人間や身分なんていくらでもあるの。二人の愛の一切あれば関係ない？それは甘い愛の偽善。
僕たちはね、恋をする資格を偽る人間を許さない。世界を生み出す最小人数を満たせない人間以下の存在の恋を許さない。僕たちの試練はそのためにある。罪深き魂たちに一人分の魂を取り戻させ、本当の恋ができるようにするために。
ゼパル様、
That's interesting.
フルフル様、
僕たちの心の
They
準
got,
備
they
が
had a point there.
できました。
どうか決闘の合図をお願いします。
The pair bidding farewell quietly asked for the signal to be given. Senpai nodded silently, then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them. For first spoke in a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the two duelists.
見ているといいわ。
愛し合う恋人たちのどちらかが破綻する決闘を。
いいえ、これは破綻のための決闘じゃない。本当の恋を成就させるための決闘。
私にはあなたたちの言っている意味がわからない。
いいえ、わかりなさい。これは本当に人を愛することができる人間が誕生する瞬間。
意味がわからない。
どちらが勝とうともどうか祝福してあげて。今彼らの家具としての日々が終わる。
合図は簡単。僕が1、2の3を数える。3と同時に決闘開始だ。
And
承知して
this is how far this furniture thing
同じ
goes.
2人が共に弾を外したら一度中断、再び弾を与え、もう一度背中合わせからやり直し。
決着がつくまで繰り返したら。
ゼバル、この決闘過去に何度も見てるのかい？
もちろん何度も見てきたよ。
大抵何度の打ち合いで決着がつく？
ほとんどの場合、弾丸一発で決着がつくよ。
みんな随分と拳銃の腕がいいんだな。
違うよ。片方が外せば残った方は悠々と追い詰めて撃つことができ、初弾をもし外したらまず勝ち目がないね。
しかしぼんやりしていれば引き金も引けずに負けることになる。
同じ負けるならせめて引き金を引いてから負けたい。
いい覚悟だよ、二人とも。では行くよ。
Pretty emotional.
1、
2の3。
In the Golden Rose Garden. When the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire rang out once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing, or the sound of both going off at the same time. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with gun raised and smoke trailing the barrel, was Cannon, and lying on the earth was Shannon. Cannon.
シャノンいや、シャノンが倒れたのは銃声より早かった。
Oh, dodge. Just because the stress explanation was enough to explain what happened. Oh no, Cannon! Oh. Uh-oh. Yes. There's no bullet wound. Suddenly Shannon stood up. There's no bullet wound anywhere in her body. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bet. If Cannon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Cannon shot as soon as he turned around, she would be able to dodge it. Cannon also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with a firearm. He was fully aware that, if he assumed Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first, he would lose before even pulling the trigger. So, he had decided to shoot right away. and he had predicted that when he shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he intended to shoot right away, he would be more mentally prepared, so he was confident that he'd be able to shoot accurately. If Kanon had cautiously turned around, and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, and Kanon wouldn't even have been able to pull the trigger. So, no impatience on Kanon's part was to blame here. The two had simply given it their all, left their fates to the heavens, and reached this result.
まさかあの短気な姉さんが撃たないなんてね。
私も意外だった。あの慎重なカノン君が振り向きざまなんてね。
Shannon quietly pointed the barrel at him. She slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit even with even more certain accuracy. And Kanon had already lost any means of fighting back. He could only try to dodge Shannon's bullet and place its bet on the second round. They both thought this. And what happened next would turn that assumption on its head. Kanon dashed forward like a tornado, bent over so low that he was almost crawling over his shadow. The disc duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around. You can do that. And if Shannon calmly shot through Kanon, it would end. The odds that Shannon would miss, or that he could get close enough to her before she fired. Kanon would bet all the chips he had on them. Shannon could draw Kanon in until the last second, and shoot him from a closer distance. If she pulled the trigger just before he reached her, then even if she missed, it would just start again from the beginning. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Kanon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She led her shot, calculating the distance he had already moved and the time it would take to pull the trigger. The goddess of fortune smiles impartially. Surviving past the final moment Shannon could have shot, Kanon barreled into her chest. He then swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. Oh, that strike sent Shannon's gun flying into the sky. At the same time, Kanon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. The two guns danced a rondo through the sky, reached their peak, and began to fall. By that time, neither knew whose gun was which. The two guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. Oh, this is straight up roulette. However, there was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands to the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The bear looked up at the brilliant sky and entrusted everything to the goddess of fortune. Then they each grabbed one of the guns out of the air, and after dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Even that had been like a dance. Then they each pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. When they both pressed the triggers, one would die and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know the result until that moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding the guns to know? The muzzle of Kanon's gun, which had already been fired, must have been warm, and the muzzle of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which. And yet, both expressions were solemn. The faces of those who would believe in their fate unswervingly until the moment the triggers were pulled. Kanon!
そうすれば再会しなくて済むのにね。
いいさ、この決闘さえも、もはや今日という日の前にはただの茶番さ。
そうだね。どうせ蘇る黄金鏡の前には本当にただの茶番。じゃあ後ほど。
後ほど。
さようなら。
Man, they really left that up to chance.
おい、どうした？しっかりしろ！
Suddenly, Kenon fell to the floor as if he had an attack of anemia. It had happened without any warning beforehand, so everyone rushed up to him in alarm. What they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open. Cracked open.
そんな。
Oh man.
どうしたの？どういうことだ？これは。
Trying to get a look at the wound, Goto wiped Kenon's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth, without any trace of a wound. And yet, blood was pouring out, almost as though it was seeping through his skin.
何やってやがんだ！しっかり止血しろい！
What?
それが
What?
傷がないのに血が止まらない。
カノがしっかり！
Excuse me? He's not wounded, but he's bleeding. Kenon's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they had lost the light of the living. Just like a puppet whose strings had been cut, he had passed away. Kenon! No! Yoshia!
さようなら、カノン君。そして
No! Oh, Jessica chased up to Kenon's corpse, held it, pressed her forehead against his. As the still hot blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed.
ジョージさん、私が勝ちました。これで私には
No!
あなたを愛する資格がやっと
Kenon! Oh! Shannon leaned against George's chest as though the strings holding her up had been cut. George held her in silence.
ヨシア君！ヨシア君！
There was nothing in the golden rose garden except the wind that carried golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs. Don't worry, it's okay, you're all going to the golden land. We've been through this 6 times now. I don't really feel anything anymore.
僕たちへの試練はもう十分かい？
十分さ。おめでとう。残ったのは君たちだ。
君たちを祝福するわ。でも忘れないで、愛を育むのがこれからのあなたたちの務め。
この奇跡が生み出した恋の種をどうかしっかり育ててほしい。
もちろんさ。彼女と君たちにかけて誓う。
それでは魔法の奇跡をシャノンに。
今こそ君の魂を人間に一人分に満たそう。集え、満たぬ魂よ、一なる魂となりて愛を知りたまえ。
Zephyr and Purpur faced the heavens and yelled. The miracle of love gathered the souls around Shannon. No, Kenon! That came from the losers of the trial, from Kenon who had been defeated, and from Bito who had dropped out. Slowly, the bodies of the two began to break down into the baby. Yes. What? Bito?
これは
The flecks of gold dust? What?
これはどういうことだ。負けたら消えるとは聞いていないぞ。
Oh, losers, go away. As she yelled, Bito the Elder supported the body of her fading little sister. However, the two demons were smiling quietly. All the losers, go away.
カモンは死んだから消える。そしてベアとはバトラーを愛するために生まれたからその資格を失って消える。
これはとても公平。あなたが生き残ったのは 他の二人が消え去ったのは
我が妹よ、しっかりせよ。バトラの密室を解き救うのではなかったのか。こんなところで果ててどうする。それでも一なるわらわの片割れか。
私ってどうしてバトラさんを好きになるなんて目的のために生まれたんですか。どうして私はバトラさんを好きなの。好きになる理由を実は知らないんです。
はあ、こんな時に何を。
だって私は生まれた時にバトラさんを愛しなさい、愛されなさいってそれが目的で生み出されて、だからどうしてバトラさんを私は好きなのかよく知らなくて。
人を好きになるのに理由などいらぬわ。消えるな。そなたが消えたら誰がバトラを救う。我が妹よ、ベアトリーチェ。
私ってどうしてバトラさんのことを好きなんですか、お母様。
俺ってさ、家庭的なことか案外苦手なんだよな。この通りガサツな性格だろ。レディーファーストとか、女の子の前では礼儀正しくとか、そういうのはさっぱり苦手なんだよな。だから強いて好みはって言われると、そうだな、ジェシカみたいなタイプの女なら結構好きかもな。俺がガサツなように向こうもガサツがちょうどいいんだ。お互いよ、汚ねえ言葉遣いで気疲れなく、男女とか気にしないでバカがやれるラフな関係が理想かもな。だからもしも俺に彼女ができるとしたら、いつも俺がジェシカとバカやってるみたいにはちゃめちゃな関係がいいよな。あ、容姿の好み？別にそんなのは気にしねえけどよ。まあ洋画とかに出てくる金髪ボーイ、青めのグラマラスな彼女だったら最高だぜ。ちいちもませろーいってな。
Oh, and fun. Beatrice, listen. I'm giving you my love for shearing me a battler. Become the kind of woman battler wants. Take the golden hair he likes. Take the blue eyes he likes. Take this personality that matches his. And then you must love him in my place. And then, if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please, take my feelings that went unfulfilled. My feelings that I couldn't hold back. And make my wish come true. From this day forward, you're no longer the rocking team of ghosts that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you'll become the master of this island and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So, from this day forward, you'll no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all my worries onto you, while I alone try to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. You do have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch, Beatrice. And one day, you will destroy everything, revive everything. You will bring blessings to all lovers. When that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. From this day forward, you will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. The two of us will split apart a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed. My dear Beatrice. No one will be able to see your form. However, I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. With love, they will be able to see us. With love. ヨシヤ
私たちは夢を見ているのか。ふざけろ。こりゃ何の冗談だよ。なんだ、南條先生を呼んできます。ゴーだ。もういい。
Kenji, who had been calm and silent through the whole thing, finally spoke, and his were the most reasonable words spoken. If they called Nanjo here, then what? Not only was there no arm to take the pulse of, there wasn't even a forehead to feel the heat of. Like leftover snow on a spring day, Kanon's form had been, by now, not even a trace remained. His form had sparkled with a spray of gold, vanishing completely.
どこ行っちゃったの？ヨシヤ君、どこ？ヨシヤ君！ヨシヤ君！
ヨシヤー。
さよなら、お嬢様。ジェシカ。
カノンさん。
僕たちはもう誰の目にも触れられない。それはつまり彼らの世界ではいないのと同じことだけれども、でもこうして僕たちはここにいる。
そうですね。私たちはここにいる。
僕たちには体なんて肉でできた檻でしかないのだから、悲しむ必要なんてない。
でも気の毒ですね、ジェシカさん。
だからこれが僕の罪なのさ。だから僕たち家具は恋をしてはいけなかったんだ。
あなたはこれから
姿を失っても、そして話しかけることができなくても、もしもジェシカが僕に語りかけてくれた時、その背中でそっとうなずくくらいのことしかできないけれど、だからそばにいることにする。
良いことだと思います、
君はどうする？
パトラさんを密室から助けたいです。
密室？
After looking a bit taken aback, Kanon laughed gently. Bito, who hadn't expected to be laughed at, looked a little sour.
どうして笑うんですか？私には大切なことなんです。
だって密室なんて体のある人間たちの問題じゃないか。僕らはすでに肉の檻から解放された存在だよ。密室なんか僕たちの妨げになるものか。
そんなのいいんですか？だってチェーンロックとかガムテープの封印とか赤き真実とか。
そうか、君は駒の世界じゃなくてそれより上の世界の存在だったね。だから僕たちとは違う制約があるらしい。やれやれ。
Kanon stretched. It looked as though he was about to head out somewhere.
カノンさん。
敗者同士の仲さ。いいよ、僕が行ってきてあげるよ。僕がお屋敷の客室へ行ってバトラ様を外に出し、入れ替わりでチェーンをかけて代わりにクローゼットに隠れる。それでいいかい？
気持ちは嬉しいです。でもカノンさんはいとこ部屋から出たくてもエリカさんの封印のせいで。
Unlike the next room over, the cousin room containing Kanon was a guaranteed, complete closed room, even counting the windows. Not only did he have no way to save Battler, he couldn't even escape himself.
君の魔法で僕に力を与えて。
私の魔法で？
僕に魔法をかけて。
そんな、私魔法の使い方なんて。
君は黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェじゃないのかい？
私は魔女ですけれど、その魔法どころか密室トリックもわからない、ただの。
やれやれ、いいかいベアトリーチェ、一度しか教えないよ。魔女ってのはね。
魔女ってのは？
魔女ってのは謎を解かされる側じゃない。
謎を解かされる側じゃない？
ああ、そうさ。どうして魔女が誰かの謎で頭を抱えてるんだい。頭を抱えるのは魔女の仕事じゃないだろう。
じゃあ魔女の仕事は？
僕の知ってる黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェのようにとびっきりの魔法で誰にもわからない難問を生み出して、煙に巻いて嘲笑ってるやつを生む誰にもわからない最悪の謎を作って、徹底的に煙に巻いてこき下ろしてやる。相手に出された謎で頭を抱えるのはね、君じゃない。君の相手の仕事さ。
悩むのは私の相手の仕事。
後ろ宮バトラーをどうやって密室から出すかを悩むんじゃない。チェーンロックの密室、バカバカしいね。なら君はそんなのよりもっともっととびっきりの最高の密室を作ってやって、あいつらを悩ませてやろうじゃないか。僕の手を貸すよ。
悩むのは私じゃなくて
あいつらの方さ。地獄の悪魔をひれ伏して絶句する最悪の密室トリックを無限に使いこなす無限の魔女ベアトリーチェの本当の恐ろしさをそろそろ連中も思い出してもいい頃
バトラさんの密室より最悪の密室。
僕らそれを手に入れてるじゃないか。
最悪の密室。
In the back of Bito's mind, images she remembered began to flit by, one after another. The mansion, the guest house, the rose garden. Trick, mistake, word, taunt, trap, laugh together. Do you know about this trick? I think I've seen something like it in a book before. Bito's eyes opened wider and wider. Countless lights circled around her, swallowing her up.
あともう一個。
何です？
それ密室の魔女の喋り方にはふさわしくないな。
やっぱり私は。
Cackle, gaggle me. Oh. Cackle. Oh, she cackled. The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and the reception was held at the cathedral. Right. Inside the cathedral. Inside the cathedral. As the goat demons partied raucously, Dwemer could be seen leaning against a pillar, trying to escape from the noise. She has glasses. Then Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her.
それは本当ですか？
近景現在コーネリア補佐官が現場保全に向かいたるものなりやエリカ卿にも中心すべきかと存じ上げ立てまつる。
わかりました。ご中心申し上げます。ガートルードは式典警備長に連絡です。準先頭で
行為ご歓談中失礼いたします。本式典警備長であります。
私？なーに？なんかよ。
だからはしゃぎすぎだって言ったのに、さすがにシャンパンタワーでボーリングはや
やりすぎだわ。少し油を絞られてきなさい。エル、こら、もう何よ、私なんかした？
受付に差出人不明のラムダデルタ卿宛てと記された封筒が届けられました。
私、非通知と差出人不明は全部ポイしちゃう主義なの。そんなの捨てちゃって。
それがこれなのですが。
何それ？これ届いたことは誰かに言った？
いえ、受付の姉妹兵2名と私のみです。すでに箝口令を与えました。
The instant she saw that envelope, Lambda Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. Burn Castle had walked away and was apparently making fun of Erika. Burn, and of course Erika, were both drunk. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about this. It's true that this envelope has no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. The seal is... Lambda Delta hid behind a pillar, ripped the envelope open, took out its contents, and read them. Her eyes instantly started to glint, and she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick.
いかがしますか？狙撃班は赤色弾頭を携行しています。ご許可をいただければ装填命令を出します。
何言ってんのよ。今日はどんだけ豪華な来賓が来てると思ってんの？万一参列者に流れ弾が当たったら、シエスタこの得体の新しい妹たちは向こう10年は工場から弾頭台に直行しなきゃなんないくらいの責任になるわよ。
了解。通常弾頭で対応するであります。煉獄の7姉妹には監視をつけますか？
いるわけないでしょ。だって7組はバトラの、そして今やエリカの家具じゃない。どうして味方に監視をつけちゃうの？とにかく警備を、まあそこそこにちゃちゃっと厳重にしなさい。
先ほどガートルード上席補佐官より準戦闘配備勧告を受けました。理由は不明であります。
ガートルードがじゃあ勧告に従っちゃいなさい。パーティーは賑やかな方がいいってことでしょ。
了解であります。 WO よりシエスタ17、シエスタ38、シエスタ45、コード R、警戒発令レベル2で待機を伝達。17コピー、38コピー、
45了解。そこでコピーといえばかっこいいのに。焦っちゃってつい。そうそう45、ちょっとこっち来て。なんです？ちょっと任務中です。ダメ、耳をいじんないで。耳おっとくに。
なんですって？冗談でしょ？ありえない。
現在コーネリアを向かわせています。ベアトリーチェがここを襲撃する可能性が極めて大です。披露宴を中断されて退避されることを進言いたします。
どうしたのエリカ？何か余興に手違いでも？いいえ、我が主。どうぞ引き続き披露宴をお楽しみください。あ、誰かベルンカステル卿に梅干しワインのおかわりを。
Erika didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Bergcastle saw this, she knew that their final late guest had finally arrived.
ルシネ、ゲストハウスで動きがあったそうよ。
ゲストハウス？ゲーム版のことなんか今はくだらない話だわ。
それが密室のいとこ部屋からカノン君が失踪したって。
はあ？あんた分かってんの？いとこ部屋は扉も窓も完璧に封印されてる完全密室じゃない。失踪なんて不可能だわ。
いや、私も裏を取ってきた。間違いない。カノンはいとこ部屋より姿を消している。
いとこ部屋のどこかに隠れてるとか、あるいは最初からうまくごまかしてもともと部屋に入ってなかったとか。
不可能だわ。
いとこ部屋にはエリカ卿が読み上げた特定個人数名以外の全員が入ってることが保証されてるのよ。ごまかして逃れることは不可能だわ。
どうやってユングフラウの封印結果を。いや、それよりカノンは一体どこへ。至急探しなさい。
Bye.